You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 102 for May 2023. Welcome to the Polymaticast. Hey, John, how's it going?
It's going okay.
Yeah, May was kind of rough. No, sorry. May is going to be rough.
April
was rough. April was rough. Well, it was rough for me for all kinds of reasons.
Yeah, it's been really busy all over the place.
Busy. Yeah, allergies. Yeah, I mean it's one of those sort of bittersweet. It was a good month and also a rough month for all kinds of reasons. So, and May is starting out not to be so great, and it's going to be busy. I mean, literally, we were just talking about every weekend I have something going on. Yeah, so it's going to be busy.
Yeah, it's and then next month is going to be like also very busy for me. So I'm going to be in Germany for like a week. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting. Also, I got an email from the train company saying, "Oh yeah, you have to get an assigned seat for the train. You didn't book one with the assigned seat." Yes, because your website is broken, and I couldn't get one with an assigned seat.
So you have to call somebody probably, and
no,
then you can't call somebody.
I'm gonna get a assigned seat in like within 4 weeks. So I should be fine. I should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hear you get a new job.
Yeah, so not that we were talking about it, but so I got laid off in January, middle of January, beginning of this year, which came to a surprise to me. That being said, it wasn't like I was unique. It wasn't just they laid me off. They laid like, I think somewhere around 55 people or something by like, I don't know, by the end of or beginning of April or something. Right.
Well,
so
this was the same period when Google and the other companies.
Yeah,
were
but it wasn't really
well.
related. That company
No. But like it was happening at the same time.
Yeah. So I just moved here. The timing was just bad, and I just sort of was going through sort of looking for a job, and there were a lot of potential possibilities, but none of them were really good for me. And so you just sort of you do what you can, and then I happened to happenstance on something that was good. But their recruiting process was I submitted like, I don't know, I think I submitted beginning of February. And then 3 weeks go by and I just get a random call saying, "Hey, we want to schedule an interview with you." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I have one interview. It's like maybe an hour long. And I think it went well. And then nothing, crickets. 3 weeks go by, nearly a month goes by, and they're like, then I get a random phone call and say, "Hey, we're going to make you an offer." I'm like, okay. And then I fill something out, and then crickets go by for like a week or 2 weeks or something, and then they get back to me, and so like then everything is filled out and I know what the starting date is, and then there's some changes they need to do and whatever. And, sort of like crisis management in my head, because now the company is large and it's not that they have turnover. They definitely have a lot of people that their business is architecture, engineering, construction. So on the construction side, they definitely have people that aren't full-time 24/7. So they definitely, the recruiters are very, very, very busy. And I was told in my interview, they said, "Hey, our process for hiring is a little slow because we have like many jobs that we fulfill throughout the year, and the recruitment is busy." So like I was given an indicator, but then I experienced this like long.
You were like, "Oh, it's gonna take an extra week. Oh, it's fine." Then
yeah.
So 2 months later,
started at the beginning of April, and they do have a hybrid thing. But it's also like kind of okay at this point if I'm just sort of not in the office. That being said, this company is international, and this isn't the headquarters. The headquarters is in a whole other state, way, way, way far from where I live. So this is a satellite office, maybe 50 people. have a desk or an office, literal office. And I'm one of those people who has a literal office with furniture and a door I can close, which is weird because this is the first job in nearly 30 years where a company actually gave me an actual office, even though in other places I probably should have been given an office because of my role and like HR level things I need to do where I need to close the door. So I have an actual office in an office, and I go in every couple days, and there's a few regulars and very few people come into the office.
It's kind of the thing right now. Like we have a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, there's people that live really close to the office and then you show up like once a week or something.
Well, there's a couple people, maybe they live 30 minutes or something. Like it's not really far away, but when you get on in a car every morning, it could be 35, 40 minutes. And it's not that they're far away, but I definitely met some people like they absolutely need to leave their house because of whatever else is going on in their life that is their home life. And
for some people it's better if they come to the office.
And so it's good. It's a nice little small office, and so I've been going in, except the third weekend of the month, everything was blooming, and of course allergies like kick off hard, and it just took me down for a week and some days. So that was rough. So that was a rough part of April for me.
Allergies.
Yeah, and clearly I have a problem with tree pollen and grass pollen. I never really did before. For me, my main thing was ragweed, but ragweed wasn't in and it really just around here has been tree and grass pollen. So it just sort of knocked me on my ass. And so I work from home basically. So I got used to figuring out that dynamic here. So yeah, new job. And yeah. So
April's a mess.
So I mean, April was sort of rough because I had so many sort of difficult obstacles in my way, throughout the month. But also good starts to things, right? So new job, trying to still figure out the dynamic. Everything is, what we do is important. What the team does is important. The stuff that I'm working on is important. And while there's some pressure because there are already some existing sort of timelines that they have, and we have a lot to do. It's sort of a combination of low stakes and not a lot of pressure. And my boss is very chill, right? And this particular project that I'm helping lead, he was the guy doing all the work. So me showing up and just working on some things is a benefit, right? And then we have a couple junior people, and working with them is also a benefit, but we don't really have junior level kind of things just yet. We have them every once in a while. And most of the architectural, structural things is between me and my boss. And my boss is sort of a manager for a large area. So he's working on multiple projects. So of course he's sort of like all bosses that sort of a relevant note are always super overutilized, right? And they're always super busy. Yeah. So my sort of, when I need answers or I need some kind of small knowledge transfer, he becomes available, but it's like 4:30 at the end of the day.
Oh no.
Well, it's just because you look at his calendar and it's just completely packed. So, so it's a totally different dynamic because I'm just so used to working at every place that like the world is on fire according to business, and everyone's sort of breathing down your neck over every little thing, and it's just like this intense, slog of, oh my God, if you don't make this deadline, oh my God, and pressure, everything, the world is on fire, our world is on fire. We're not going to, and this is sort of, it's important. These are important. We can't miss these deadlines, but it's a whole different pace, a whole different sort of, it's important. We need to get these things done. We don't want to, waste time. We don't have much time to afford to waste on that. We do build a customer, right? And, it's that sort of thing, but it's not It's not the same dynamic, not just from where I came from or the last 20 years of what I've been living as like corporate life.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different dynamic for a company that's over 100 years old, that is privately owned. It's owned by the employees, and it's a whole different dynamic, just completely different.
Yeah, seems like a good place then.
I hope so. So given time, so
Yeah.
yeah,
I did a Lego stream today.
yeah.
Today's also my birthday, so it's like a good day to do something I've been putting off for a while. So I built the TIE fighter and the X-wing.
Yeah, I see that in the
thing
background.
that I've had on my stack of things that I needed to build for a while now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I have one. I have the Astro Boy that someone gave me as a gift. The holiday.
It's not
time.
official Lego, right? It's not official.
No, it's yeah. I don't think it is, but it's of quality. It's not like some cheap Chinese knockoff. This is like out of Japan. I think it's like officially properly licensed to Astro Boy.
Yeah.
But because they don't, there's no like Lego insignia logos or anything on it. But I think it's sort of, I'd say blessed by
last time we
the
talked about this, it
Yeah.
wasn't Lego, so yeah.
Yeah, it's totally not Lego, but I think this company, what they do is sort of blessed by Lego to do these very sort of boutique, special kind of Lego kits.
So also have this one, which is the Lego Creator. Don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
It's the lunar lander, Apollo 11. And I have something very big over here, which is the
Ghostbusters one. Oh.
Ecto one.
So I think I heard there were two of them. There's two different ones.
This is the big one.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the 2352.
When I was a kid, what I did is, and again, there was no internet to talk to people. It was just like me and maybe one friend who had Legos, and he got the new fancy whatever, and I was like, oh, okay, I would never get that. That doesn't seem interesting. But then I looked at the parts and I'm like, ooh, that would be interesting to get those kits because I could do this or I could do that. And I never looked at and also they were no so highly themed when I was a kid, right? The Star Wars integrations and all the stuff didn't come until I was like an adult, right? So, you build a generic, fire house thing, or whatever little town thing, or you get the space ones and you could build like your moon base or something like that, or you can get the ones that were a little bit more like meant to be sort of mechanical, building little cars and stuff like that. But I mean, outside of that, there was never Ghostbusters, right? Was never a thing. There was no sort of licensing there was never any of that. So for me, I was always conditioned to looking at Legos as, ooh, that kit looks like it's got some interesting parts in it. I totally want to get that kit because then I can do this, right? And I never looked at that as like, go build the Ecto one, right?
Yeah, I think there's like 3 sets for the Ecto one. If I remember correctly, there's there's also some light up kits that you can get for it, so that's pretty cool. I have the 10274 is the number of the kit that I have, which is it was pretty expensive when I got it. I think it isn't available as much anymore. So it's like 200 euros to get it from a store. So
wow. There used to be, I don't know if it's still there, but there used to be a Lego store in King of Prussia.
Yeah, I remember. I've been there.
Yeah. And and they eventually, you could go in and just literally like you do bulk bin with candy, you could do the bulk bin with bricks.
The very expensive Danish plastics.
Yeah.
Very expensive Danish ABS.
And we all love it, man.
Yeah. I also have the Back to the Future of the DeLorean.
Yeah, I saw that in the background.
Yeah, and you can also see the what's it called? The tall neck from Horizon Forbidden West.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Which always just looks to
I
me
kind of like.
looks to me. I always looked at that and I was like, why is the Enterprise on top of
Yeah,
as the head?
Yeah. So last year I bought a PS4 to play Horizon Forbidden West, and then came out that the new expansion, which is like you can buy the expansion online, and the expansion was going to be PS5 only.
Right. You were talking about this. You're telling me.
So I bought a PS5.
I thought you said you were not going to do that.
Yep, I bought a PS5. It looks nice though. I like the look of the game. It looks
so are
very
you
nice
going to hang it on the wall next to the PS4?
I'm going to take the PS4 off the wall, sell the PS4.
That's what I was telling you. Isn't that what I said?
Yep, I'm going to sell the PS4.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's also a Blu-ray player, so I could just, keep it on the wall. But I never play Blu-rays anyway, so.
Right. Yeah, I get that. And I remember when, was it not the 2, the 3? When the 3 came out, it was like, but I don't have a Blu-ray player, and this is the cheapest Blu-ray player. And I'm like, everyone's sort of over-justifying it. I'm like, uh-huh.
You sound like a Minecraft villager back just now.
Oh, well, no, they're creepier in their way that they mumble. Oh, yeah, something like that. It took me, I hated it when I started playing Minecraft. It irritated me so much. Now
you can turn off friendly creature sounds.
I know, but then it hits everybody, right?
Well, it also takes care of the chicken problem.
Oh, yeah, I have tempered it down. Like, I make it lower.
Yeah.
So it doesn't annoy me as much. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been playing some more on the Minecraft server.
Mm-hmm. Have you actually been playing? I haven't been on in the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, I went in last night, and I probably went in maybe a few days ago or something briefly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the three of us, really. And when you come in, it's you pop in for a second and then you pop out. I don't know why.
Yeah, because it's usually when you play. I'm not playing because I'm either at work or I'm about to go to bed.
When I was sort of in between jobs, I was playing a lot, right? I will say the Minecraft server on a Raspberry Pi, or in this case with the Orange Pi, is very impressive.
It's really fast.
I'm surprised you didn't do this earlier because you were just paying for a hosting plan.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I'm paying for the electricity on this thing, so.
You're paying for the what?
The electricity.
Oh, okay. But, I mean, is it that much of a draw? Is it
it's
really?
About 70 euros a year. I think. I calculated it.
Okay.
It's still quite a bit of money, but that's fine. It's fine.
Well, I mean, how much were you paying in hosting?
I think
14 a month or something?
No, I think it was about $40 every quarter. So
okay, so you're
$160 a year,
less.
So it's less expensive. But I also bought the Orange Pi and I got the storage.
Right. Yeah. I took an expense when I probably shouldn't, but I bought the Home Assistant. So I bought the Home Assistant kit board, not realizing that it was not coming with the computing module.
Ah, okay.
And there's like sort of fine print. Well, if you got it as the Kickstarter project, right, or the crowdfunding project, whenever they did it a year or two ago, it did come with a computing module, right?
Oh,
but it did not come.
So you don't have a compute module now?
No. So I did. I went looking, and of course I got hit double the price, whatever it is. But that was the option, and then in a few days it showed up. So I have a nice little powerful box here that is up and running, and I got it running, and I took an update a couple of days ago or something, and it basically bricked it, so I had to redo it. So I started working on that Friday night. I started working on that yesterday, and then I was up late reconfiguring and improving it, right? Because the first time I set it up, I didn't really know what I was doing, and then I was going out and signing up for all the developer API things and setting up all the temporary dev projects, and so I could do all the integration. So I was doing that last night. So I have a Raspberry Pi here, but it's really just for a specific purpose for the house.
Does it have an M.2 slot on it?
It does.
Yeah. Did you fill it, or are you still running off an SD card?
No, I have a quarter terabyte drive in there.
250 gigs. Yes.
256 gigs. So that was part of my elevated cost. But I was like, nah, because and in the utopia, one day I'll buy a Synology and I'll put it in the basement on a rack and whatever it is, and then I'll connect the two things up and I'll do a jellyfin, and then I'll start putting all the media and shit on it, and be able to kind of engage that through the Home Assistant.
5 years later.
Yeah, probably. Given sort of the path of things that I still need to do around in the house, but
Yeah.
Priorities.
Okay. Yeah, well, I listened to a podcast recently about with an interview with the one of the people behind Raspberry Pi. They were gonna be releasing new Raspberry Pi 4s and compute modules and stuff like that. So, so the availability is going to go back up. So you may have paid double for something you shouldn't have paid double for. But
yeah, and I was just one of those things where
how many gigs of memory does it have?
It has 8.
Okay.
No ECC on board. Though they had options, but I was just like, I'm going to settle on this. It has 8 gigs. It's one of the better cores. 8 cores maybe on it. I think it's like 8 cores on it, 8 gigs. There's a 32 in there for some reason. I, for life, me can't figure out why I'm thinking that. It was sort of a better board. Because I just wanted to make sure that if I want to do other things with it later, that, Now, keep in mind, this board is meant to be a Home Assistant. So it's not, yes, I can take the computing module and put in whatever I want, right? I can get another board, right? So I get that. But that being said, there's no AV, there's USB on it, but there's there's no AV on it. There's no HDMI or anything like that. So I have enough slots for what I need, and eventually when the Sky Connect comes, I'll plug that in. It'll give me extra Bluetooth, extra Wi-Fi, and it'll give me a compatibility with Matter.
Oh, so it's good.
Matter radio. This thing is like $30. It's called Sky Connect, and they have a multitude of radios on it, and it can run 2 of them at the same time. And so the HomeKit the Home Assistant Yellow board has Zigbee on it, has Wi-Fi, has compatibility with Thread, and Zigbee, Z-Wave, and it can do all the things, and it even has compatibility with Matter. So it's all sort of built in. But I just wanted another thing in case, and I didn't know that it came with all that stuff. Of course, once I configured it, I realized it has all that stuff. But I already sort of bought the Sky Connect, and they've been doing it in small crowdfunding batches. So I don't know, in 2 or 3 years or 2 or 3 months, it'll show up. So and I'll plug it in, I'll get that connected. So more radios, the better.
Yeah, well, the whole Matter thing is a whole different protocol. So it's more similar to like IP, just like a network, an actual.
My
network.
point is, Home Assistant supports all of it, and it can let me bridge things that I wouldn't normally be able to do with any kind of technology. I don't have to be stuck in an ecosystem. I don't have any Apple devices, but I could install the
HomeKit.
Not the HomeKit integration. It can do that all through Matter and Thread, so it doesn't need any of that. No, what is it when you want to be able to play music?
AirPlay.
So there's an AirPlay plugin that I could connect up, and then anyone with an iDevice, could go ahead and play music through it. And then I could engage the speakers in Amazon or in Google right through the Home Assistant.
Sounds like a lot of work, a lot of money.
No, I spent all the money. That's it. It's
Yeah.
just really, I pay for one little Home Assistant cloud thing, which allows some better integration and some backups and stuff. So when I sort of got bricked, I went back and did a partial backup and it didn't restore right. So what I did is when I did a full backup, last night, of course, the cloud integration is there. So if I ever have a problem again and I can't go into save mode and restore, I could go and pull that and set up the integration again and just pull it back down. So it's much better.
Yeah, I've been going a little bit less ham on the home automation stuff. So after the Hue stuff, I was like, okay, they work ish, and like there's this one thing where I have this light up here, and if I have a button on the door frame, and if I press the button, I walk away, the light turns back on. So
that's a dashboard I put together last night.
Okay.
So I can integrate all the sensors and all the things. And
do you have these the light switches with motion sensors like Linus has?
No, and first thing, he has such a nightmare with that, right? So actually, he's using Home Assistant too. But I told you I was going to do this over a year ago. It's not perfect, right? So like I have some Govee lamps in my bedroom that I would like to work with Home Assistant, and there's a Govee integration, but it doesn't recognize those 4 lamps. So that kind of sucks. The temperature sensors that I have, I plan to get the ones that were Wi-Fi enabled. So when I do that, I'll swap out the small little tiny battery-based Bluetooth ones out. And then I have a couple of these light switch things, smart plugs. These are GoSun. GoSun doesn't have an integration. And all I need to do is like get the Philips Hue version of that and put that on the network and replace them. And then I'll have integration through everything better than I do now. So I'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
That's
pretty nice. I mean, again, if you have a spare Raspberry Pi, you can set all this stuff up pretty easily. You won't have all the radios if you don't have but you can get like a $30 Sky Connect. I mean, it would show up in September at this point if you pre-order it, but
Yeah, you can also get the individual radios. That's like USB.
I mean, you can.
Yeah.
Not everyone has a Zigbee and Z-Wave, radio compatibility on them.
Yeah.
That's what Sky Connect does. It puts all the radios in just a USB dongle.
I was looking at getting a new at the end of May. I was going to build my new PC. So I've been building new PCs every year, but like upgrading, I've been upgrading the last couple of years. I'm on a 5800X now for both machines, for like the piece, this machine I'm on right now, and the Art PC. The Art PC is like 64 gigs. This one is 32, which is fine for gaming. It's like and a 3060 in it on both machines. But I was looking maybe getting one of the new AMD machines, but then I heard something about them catching fire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the new was it the 7950 X3D or something like that? I think it was that one. There was an organic matter that melted and caught fire and started smoking.
Wow.
So, and they went from like a pin system to like an LGA system, so line grid array. So it's like little pins, about like little springs that touch the bottom of the processor. So the processor itself is smooth on the underside, but like the pins on the motherboard got dented in some cases. So Gamers Nexus has a very good video on it about what happened there. So then I was like, oh, maybe I don't spend money on a computer this year.
So
I'm just gonna wait for a year. This machine is fine. I have no problems with it at all, and I'm just gonna leave it as is.
When it comes to CPUs, I'm pretty pro AMD, but as of late, I'm not in the market for anything right now, or certainly not in need to be in the market for anything. And I think Intel is coming back and reclaiming their sort of CPU superiority. They're getting there. No? Okay. So are we just sort of screwed for a good process?
They're using a lot of power. They're very power hungry.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, and that's the other thing. You don't want to be too power hungry when you don't need to be.
Especially in this time of year. Yeah.
I think. Look, I got a case that's fine from a micro perspective. It's sort of like it's not a mini tower, but it's sort of not a micro tower, but it's sort of like it's not a full tower. And I think in hindsight, I probably should have bought a full tower so that I would have access to, because the 3080 basically just eats up 2 slots. There's a second PCI slot there, but I have no way of accessing it. So
that's everybody has that problem.
I know, but I mean,
all the video cards.
If I had a full
space.
tower and I had 3 and it's eating over the space of 2, at least I'd have 1 to put stuff in if I wanted to put something else in there. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be me investing some money into a new MacBook for my own coding stuff. I got a new MacBook at work, which is a M2 MacBook, and it's so freaking fast. It's so nice. It's like the M1 was such a disaster. I had so much trouble with that thing.
So what was it I saw? There's a pretty impressive Lenovo that I saw. It was pretty good. But I think if I was to go do anything, I'm likely to get probably an Asus ZenBook would probably be the next computer thing that I get next. And I know that they come with like 4070s in some cases, but they're all mobile processors. They're nothing like a desktop. That being said, having that kind of power on the go is much better than not having it at all. So, but I'm not in a financial position to kind of just do that, and I don't have a dramatic need for that. When I go to Otakon and I do all the video stuff, I am going to use my laptop to slow transfer things, and that'll be the extent of it. Or I can do it when I get home.
Yeah. Just get more storage.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what you do, and getting 2 gigs, SSD doesn't cost that much anymore.
2 gigs? You mean 2 terabytes?
Oh, sorry, 2 terabytes, yeah. Or get a 4 terabyte. The 4 terabytes, though, their rewrite speeds are slower. So if I was to do it, I'd just get another 2 terabytes, and then I have stuff.
It would be nice if there was like a way to do an ingest station for on the go, where you just plug it has its own battery and stuff, and you just plug the SD card in there, and you just.
I mean, they used to have them. There is hardware that does it. I don't know what they used to call them, Gorilla somethings, where they used to be like maybe half terabytes or something, and you put your SD card in, and it was a little sort of Linux embedded device or whatever it was, and it would be about the size of like a portable SSD, like normal, sort of about the size of your cell phones or whatever, and they have a little LCD screen on it, and you would just plug in your SSD or whatever it is, and your SD cards or your compact flashes, whatever it is, and it would just transfer everything to the drives and do it pretty rapidly. So there's devices out there. I don't know if they're still making them, but there was a company who was doing this. I mean, they were pretty expensive though. Yeah, you'd spend nearly $1,000 for a device like that. But if you're sort of a pro in the field, you're gonna want a dozen of those things, and you
wouldn't be working on an SD card then, if you're a pro.
You might be working on compact flash and SD as backup if you have a camera that had that kind of facility, or you had field recorders that had the same thing.
You'd be if you're working with video, you'd be working on an SSD straight. So.
Yeah, in some cases, yeah.
Anyway, I'm not buying a new PC.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have a need to right now, so I'm not in that position. I have to.
I might upgrade my my CPU to like the fastest I can get, the best one I can get for that piece, for that generation.
Mm-hmm. So
to 5950X, and then maybe sell my my 5800. but I would only do it for like one of the machines, only for the art machine, because that's the only one I can actually use it for. Because I
Right.
can use it for Blender and that kind of stuff. It's already a pretty fast machine, and it's not like Clip Studio Paint uses more than one core, which is like insane. It's so dumb that it still uses only one core. Single threaded. It's stupid.
Oh, they have to recompile it for.
Well, I know that, and even Photoshop is like, it's like, oh yeah, it's multi-threaded, sort of.
Yeah,
It was like, I can do. I wish that they would just learn to be able to do that with these graphics programs, where it's not like code that has been written years ago, that they would rework it so it will work faster on multi-cores. And like having to wait on a brushstroke on a very modern machine with like 64 gigs of memory,
bad.
and like it's not good.
The other key thing about it is you just have to it could be as simple as they just have to take the source code and build it on a multi-core processor, and then the binaries will be more compatible.
I think it's a problem where all the code has been written for it, for like the all the handling of the PNGs.
Oh, it's probably done in C++.
It's probably done in a way that it can only be run on one core. It cannot be multi-threaded, so that's probably the reason why.
Well, if it's done in C++, they're probably built all their memory management processes and routines, so that could be part of the problem.
I don't know what they did it in. So
yeah.
But they were like, oh yeah, we're going to release 2.0 for Clip Studio. And yeah, what is 2.0 about it? It's not really 2.0. So I spent another, what was it, $100 on it. And then I had to buy an upgrade again, which was another $100, because I apparently I bought the wrong one. So I gave away the original, the full version of it to somebody else, because I couldn't get a refund, because Clip Studio doesn't do refunds. It's like, oh, I bought the wrong one. I was like, okay, fine, I'll just give it away.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay, do you want to go through the fun stuff?
Yeah, I guess we can do that. That's fine.
Do you have anything else?
And I had a problem with my phone. I already told you about that, right? That my phone was perfectly fine, and the touchscreen just stopped working. My theory is that probably a cable got loose that does the sort of that handles that, right? It's probably one cable for display and probably another. I don't know, but the point is that like on Tuesday, I just couldn't touch anything, and it wouldn't respond. And obviously, you can't do the finger unlock because it's basically a fingerprint reader underneath the screen, and if you're not touching it, so you just can't even unlock the phone. Google had me reset it, and of course that made me lose everything in the MFA and everything. So I have insurance on these things. You never need to use them, but this is one of those cases where I paid $100 deductible, much better than me buying the P7 for $700 new. And I got a refurb unit, and it's in great shape. The only thing I'll say is battery doesn't hold up as well as my previous phone. My previous phone, the battery is fantastic. Here, I'm finding that I have to charge it a little more actively. Like if I pull it off, and maybe that was part of its refurb. I don't know. But this will get me through for a little bit until maybe P8 or something, whatever the hell is next. And I'm in that position to maybe switch up. I'm sure it'll get me by. But I mean, I spent my Friday night my Thursday night up to 1 a.m. just, so the way the Google Pixels work, right? You go back, you sign into your account, it restores a lot of stuff, and it had a pretty good restore as of Tuesday. So it pulled everything down. It pulled all the apps, minus one, which is not compatible with my P6, which it was from the previous one. But I transferred everything by cable, right? When I did that process from the P5 to the P6. So one of my favorite apps, not available anymore. It's not the end of the world. I'll go hunting for something new or replacement. But I spent quite a bit of time logging into everything and tweaking every little thing and letting it update 147 apps during my workday. Now, I was working, so I didn't really care. And it just sat there all, for 4 hours, updating every little freaking thing. And of course, I had more updates after that. And, it was just sort of, it used to be a lot worse, but it was still sort of painful for 6-7 hours of me just sitting there all night. Okay, logging into this, logging into that. And then Friday, I connected all the work stuff. But the big pain point was that there's so much MFA, 2FA stuff that is integrated, including at work. So getting it on sort of unregistered and all of that effort was just like an effort, right? Even my thermostat, I turned the MFA on for my thermostat, and I had to call and prove myself, and I did it within a reasonable amount of time where I talked to somebody, but like had to do all that and disconnect everything and do that with a bunch of stuff. And even with my car, with the Tesla stuff, like I had a problem where I needed to talk to an actual person or email somebody. And even through my connections, no one knew who to talk to. I lucked out. I found the 1-800 number that Tesla doesn't advertise. And then I called them and I got connected to somebody. And then at that point, I found my backup codes. But, so it was just, it's surprising that, yeah, I can be without my phone, but everything is now sort of tightly woven to our phones, especially with security. So that really screws everything up when you're without it, and you can't even recover your authenticator apps or whatever it is. It really puts you out, and it was a hell of an effort, but I got through all of it.
We should do an episode on password managers.
Yeah, we use one at work. Yeah, I guess we
use
could.
Bitwarden.
Okay,
it's very, very nice.
Yeah.
Works very well. It's very similar to 1Password, but separate. Yeah. You can host your own password manager, so you can have one in your own home.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have it sync with your own password manager at home. So if you have a NAS or something, you can install it on your NAS.
Got it. There is a guy who I follow on TikTok that is one of those network security guys. Like he's one of those sort of white hackers. That's his job. And I forget what he was talking about, but it might have been Bitwarden, but he had very particular opinions about this too. So, yeah.
At least don't install LastPass.
Yeah, no, I never paid for any of these. We use one at work. That's a paid one. And I wrote my own system a long time ago, and I update the encryption algorithm every once in a while. And so it makes it incompatible with the older versions. And I use that, and that has served me. But if I'm without certain resources, then I'm screwed. So
it's kind of funny if you look at the Wikipedia page for LastPass. 2011 security incident, 2015 security breach, 2016 security incidents, 2017 security incidents, 2019 security incidents, 2020 security incident.
It's
2021 third-party trackers and security incident. 2022 customer data partially encrypted vault theft.
Yeah, it's how I feel about VPN companies and antivirus companies. Right, they have well past their purpose, and they're now
so much snake oil.
As sketchy snake oil, profit fearing machines as possible. And while like NordVPN is, and Linus, right, in group, they were talking about was it PWA? I don't know if they're still doing business with PWA, but they sort of got rid of Nord, and who was it? They had someone else they got rid of too, and because they were sort of companies were tracking, right? Even though you were sort of safe from the outside of their network, they were still collecting data on you and selling data on everybody, including like Nord or whatever it was. And so there were some concerns there. So while they're better, they're all sort of, you have no privacy.
Yep. We're all just cogs in the machine.
Yeah. Yeah, and yes, indeed.
Okay. Want to go over the fun stuff?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get it out of the way.
Okay. Amethyst D20. Polymatic link /19K.
Yeah, it was a good video, and I follow the channel. I'm curious what else he does. I really enjoyed watching that video.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very shiny.
So this might be this isn't. This is a YouTube. I tried to do as many YouTubes, but I hit some TikTok, so whatever. Okay, I call it cactus leather because that's kind of what it is. I thought it was an interesting video. Polymatic.link /19T.
It's kind of weird because it's not. They say they put like the paste or whatever that they make on top of polyester. Yeah. So it's like, is it really? Is it better for the environment?
Yeah, maybe kind of, but it might be better than what we're doing today with leather, right? I think that was really the goal.
Yeah. Okay, thread whirling bone screws. Polymatic link /19. Is that an L or is that a 1?
I think that's an L.
19L.
Yeah. As in
Polymatic link /19L.
Yeah. It was interesting. Are you going to buy one of those machines?
No, that's way too expensive. I don't have the money for that.
Would you buy one if you could?
Probably.
I'm sure if you...
It's a completely automated lathe and shit. So I was like, oh yeah, I would love to have one of those.
I was going to say, Giaco doesn't put out videos anymore, really, other than whatever the Kickstarter stuff that they're working on. But I'm sure he's probably going to buy one of those. If he doesn't have one already.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess it's me. I just thought this was a short and interesting video by, I guess, Honeypot. The creator of CSS shares his opinions with the integration people have been doing with CSS and JavaScript. Polymatic.link /19U.
Yeah, it's, had to deal with some stuff recently that was related to this, and like, yeah. Interesting video. Polymatic link /19U for that one.
Yeah.
Next one is Fred again. I am the party. Polymatic link /19M.
Yeah.
I actually saw this on TikTok, and then I looked it up because some people were sharing a thing from like that event.
Mm-hmm.
Then I found a better video on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay, so this is someone I'm not really following, but it keeps coming up in sort of my For You page on TikTok. He's behind you. These are a couple guys, I guess, comedians that kind of do an interesting live act. Polymatic.link /19V.
The puppets.
The puppets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is Does Your Flag Fail? Polymatic link /19N from CGP Grey.
Long video.
Yeah, but it's a fun video. It's CGP Grey always makes good content.
It's in good humor, but it is a long video. Yeah, that was Polymatic.link.
And he's actually talking pretty fast in this video, so
yeah. Okay, so this is really for you. I'm not at this point where I'm really doing any kind of soldering, but a better way to organize. I thought it was kind of interesting. Polymatic.link /19W. I'm sure a Raspberry Pi or an Arduino board are involved.
I had already seen this video as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. There's a new game coming out.
Yeah, those videos are popping off everywhere now.
Yeah. Polymatic link /19O.
Yeah. Also,
I've actually got the other one. The Warriors of something. Warriors.
I saw 3 at this point.
Yeah, so
in the
with the
last day or two.
new engine stuff. So I have the Breath of the Wild, then I have that other game that I still haven't played,
Okay.
and then
Oh,
I
so
am gonna get this one.
this isn't the new game. This is
This
the
is the
third
the
game.
sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay.
I think the other one is a prequel.
Oh, okay. I just assumed it was a sequel. The one that
This is
just
a
came out
sequel.
recently. Okay, got
It's
it.
coming out next week,
Got it.
or
Okay.
whenever this is released, last week or something.
My problem is I never really got through the first one, so why would I buy the prequel or the sequel? Like, I just sort of, it's not that I wasn't interested. It's just I hit a level of challenge that sort of deterred me from finishing it. So yeah, but it looks good.
It's too hard.
Looks interesting. I just called this threadboards because that's what the person in the TikTok video was calling it. Polymatic.link/19x stuff that you can 3D print yourself. Thought it was interesting. Something that if I had a 3D printer and I had sort of a workshop space, I'd probably print this stuff out and set it up that way. Okay. I like the utility of it. I'm not sure that I'm going to do fancy little mousetrap things, but I would totally like, or you do a French cleat install, whatever it is. But I thought it was pretty neat.
It's nice for a workbench.
Yeah.
Okay, Northern Lights in real time. Polymatic.19p.
She was really.
We've shared her before.
You might have. She's interesting. I watched one other video. She's really got double rainbow guy kind of vibe. And then I saw the video where she was totally like melting down because winter was over. I thought, okay, she's interesting. Which explains sort of the first commentary of the video that you're sharing from her. So, but I mean, I'm sure that's despite filming it, I think that's one of those things you just have to see for yourself.
Yeah, I've never seen the Northern Lights, but apparently you can sometimes see it here in the Netherlands. But it's like, I think I'm living in one of the most light polluted areas in the world. So if I go outside, it will be the sky will still be light enough for it to block any of the light from the Northern Lights. So.
Okay, so another TikTok video. I felt like I had shared this, but maybe it's because I had this for a month or so. Katowice numerals. I thought this was kind of interesting. This is about a class in Alaska who came up with their own numbering system that I think is maybe more aligned with the future generations. Polymatic.link/19y. It was interesting. I mean, like, Roman numerals was never a problem for me. I know most of my counterparts in school could never figure out Roman numerals or the basic calculations with them. But I don't know. I mean, this sort of falls in that vein. I thought it was interesting.
Yep. It's closer to Roman numerals than it is to Arabic ones that we're currently using everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was Polymatic.link/19y for that one.
Yep.
And the next one is Orangutan Card Trick Debunked. Captain Disillusion is back. Polymatic.link/19q.
My first thought is like, I haven't watched one of his videos in a long time. Where the hell has been this guy? So,
yeah, well, he releases like one video every year or something like that.
Yeah,
There's like one of the comments was like, "Oh, it's always a nice year when Captain Disillusion releases a video."
I probably disconnected. I probably like unsubscribed from him because he was putting out too much of the same kind of thing, and I wasn't as interested. Years ago, whenever you introduced him to me.
I don't think he was doing many videos then. He's always been a very slow releaser of stuff.
Yeah. Either way, I'm not. I don't think I'm actively subscribed to him, so like I wouldn't have caught this without you showing it to me. But yeah, I mean, interesting video, has multiple parts to it. It's what you expect from him. Okay, so I don't. I like Orla Gartland. It's really your fault. But this is one of the songs that, this is a live version, but this is one of those songs that I liked from her last album. She's working on a new one. And I just was like, yeah, all right, I'll share this. It's really kind of two songs merged together. And I remember hearing these as demos. So for me, this is, has been an old song, but it was on her most current album, Polymatic.link/19z. It's just a song I really enjoy. Songs I really enjoy. I really do like Difficult Things. I mean, I like Bloodline too, but something about it just sort of always hits me right.
That was Polymatic.link/19z.
Yep.
Okay, next one is How Electricity Solves a Maze for You. Polymatic.link/19r. Yeah. Well, he's a interesting guy. He's like he also did when the infinite wire light thing when with Veritasium was going on. He also did like he rolled out like a kilometer of wire to test the theory.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. So Polymatic.link/19r for that one.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is on YouTube, and so this is a group, Walk Off the Earth. I've been following for, I don't know, maybe it's for back 2011, 2010 or something. They're an interesting group, and the story really to this is I follow them, I guess, on TikTok as well, and they put out this video where they caught sort of a moment of their son just making up his own melody. Just he was like at the table doing something, working on homework, whatever it was, and he was just making this little like melody. And because his parents are in this music group and they're a married couple and they're very musically inclined, they took this small moment because they just were like very impressed how perfect pitch their son had. And then that caused a lot of attention. They say, well, you got to turn that into a song now. And then a week later, they turned it into a song, and this is the result of that. And the melody is basically the chorus. The lyrics and everything else is theirs. But I thought it was really good, and it was a good song. But it had a little backstory to it that made it become a creation at all. Polymatic.link/1A0.
Okay, next one is Irish Gene, Those Eyes. Polymatic.link/19s.
Very weird. Very weird. All right. I like this artist called Blue Eyes. She's been putting out some new stuff. She put out recently 4 or 5 lyric videos. I guess she's got new stuff coming up. I've been listening via Spotify. This is a YouTube video. I picked one of them. It's called Wish I Said. Polymatic.link/1A1. I really like her stuff. I really do. Yeah. I don't know. I just do.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is Mo, Hou me vast, which is a Dutch song. Polymatic.link/1A2.
Yeah, you added this. I didn't check it out yet. So
You should. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. So Alan, where can they find you?
Around
Polymatic.link/Alan for that one. You can find me on Polymatic.link/John. Or for feedback, you can reach this podcast at Polymatic.media. Our Twitter is the Polymatic for as long as Twitter is going to be around. And our website is Polymatic.media. I hope you tune in next time.